What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Pusha T is here with an appetizer titled King Push, Darkest Before Dawn, the prelude. It's a warm-up album to, King Push, which is supposed to drop in spring of 2016. Working on an album for, almost 2 years, or over 2 years, excuse me. You're going to have a lot of extra material. And for someone like Pusha T, he's always, extruding this quality. So he's able to put out, a 10-track album. And I was excited to really get into it because Pusha T has this complexity to him where you just have to listen to a song several times because you got to catch all the lines. Like, he's that technical with his craft. And on top of that, the beats are always great. When I first heard Untouchable and Timbaland produced that, and I was like, this is insane. This is mean. That Biggie sample, the way he's Pusha T's flowing and spitting, it was great. And so I was excited for this album when it was announced. I feel like Pusha T, and I've said this before. I said this in my Freddie Gibbs review, that the only person that I feel rivals Pusha T is Freddie Gibbs. They're like in they're in like a same class when it comes to like drug raps. But Pusha T might have a more technical edge to it because he just says some crazy stuff. Let me quote a couple lines. He said, the last dope dealer, red leather in a room full of thrillers, the mommies, they zombies. He said that on Retribution. Like, the type of imagery that he portrays sometimes is just amazing. Stuff like that. You just kind of get a mental picture of what that would look like. And another one he said on Untouchable was, my breakdown game brought me 8 Mile fame, selling M&Ms to him and them. I just thought it was a really good line. I liked it. And another line that I wanted to highlight that isn't really like, amazing or like, spectacular, nothing like that. But I like the fact it's on M.P.A. He said, dope is a two-way street. And if you don't already use Rap Genius, you really should. I was reading his breakdown of that line, and I thought it was interesting, just the fact that he's kind of showcasing, like, obviously you get addicted when you do dope, but at the same time, there's that addiction to the lifestyle of selling it. You're making all this money, you have the flashy cars, the nice clothes, buying whatever you want. So that's what he means when he says it's a two-way street. Addiction works on both sides of the coin. And going back into, M.P.A, I feel like that was a really strong record. It's one of the things that he kind of takes his approach on to the black community. In the second verse, he talks about, taking, women for granted. And the whole concept is pretty much, money, pussy, and alcohol. Like, those are like 3 vices for, the black community. And it was a different side of Pusha T that you don't see too often, but it's just as good as like his drug side. Another record that does that same thing was Sunshine, and I think Sunshine is more in a universal sense because, it's talking about how the police are, killing innocent black men. And, those 2 records, they stand out. They still fit within Darkest Before Dawn, but they stand out because they're not like every other record. And going back to M.P.A. one more time, I just feel like Kanye is still getting by a minimal guest feature. Thinking about it, like, that was what I initially thought. I initially thought, I don't really care for this hook. But the more I listened to the song, the more I got into it, the more I kind of, get it. And I think it's better than having, like, a lazy Kanye verse. But I'm not, like, blown away by the hook. And I thought it was kind of cool that, Kanye and A$AP Rocky kind of, do it together. A$AP is more in the background with his vocals. But that's what I wanted to say about that record. Another record called Keep Dealing has Beanie Siegel, and it took me 4 times going through the album before I realized this is Beanie Siegel. Oftentimes I'm doing multiple things. I'm just have the music on in the background, listening to it. And it wasn't until like that 4th listen that I really like looked at the song as it was playing. I'm like, this is Beanie Siegel spitting right now. He sounds so different. The verse is still good. I'm not knocking the verse, but it was definitely, different. Kind of threw me off. Like, damn, like, what happened, that made Beanie Siegel's voice change that much? You can still tell it's Beanie Siegel when you really listen to it, but you could tell there's been a lot of change. I don't know if that was, he's lost a lot of weight recently. Maybe that has to factor into it, but I don't know. And it'll take some getting used to, for me at least. And let's see, what else did I have here? Um, I didn't really have too many other notes. I feel like this is a very solid album from start to finish. Um, it's good for his technical complex drug raps. It's good for his two songs that kind of highlight the black community. And I'd be interested to hear more of Pusha T's take on the black community on King Push when it drops, and I'm hopefully that's the way he's going. Kind of laying the seeds with Darkest Before Dawn, and then coming back in the next album with it. Now I got 3 questions. I kind of highlighted a couple of mine, but what was your favorite line off the album? Number 2, which producer gave Pusha T the best beat? He has beat from Timbaland, J. Cole, Metro Boomin. Like, he has a very diverse palette of producers this time around. And they all kind of fit into this dark vibe. And that's what he was talking about in the interview where he says, he brought the darkness out of all these producers. And lastly, what concept would you create if Clips made another album? The reason I asked this is because Pusha T took over Complex Music's Twitter recently. And the homies over at WatchLoud.com, their Twitter was one of the questions they asked that Pusha T didn't acknowledge was, would you ever consider doing a Clips album where, you're the dealer and No Malice is trying to convert you, out of the street life? And I thought that was a hell of a concept. Like, I No Malice is on a different approach with his music, so I think that would kind of fit into, that approach. Maybe not, I don't know, but I thought it was an ill concept that I would definitely love to see. But if you were to, get Pusha and Malice together and say, what, here's how you're going to do another Clips album, how would you do it? It might be too hard of a question. There's no real answer, I guess, to it, but I thought it was interesting. I just wanted to share that. And when you're done, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at Sermons Domain. As always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.